get it out beforehand.
We are live.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I have Cindy as well as Susan here with me today.
We're busy right now because we're kind of hearing crickets at the moment. We're trying to keep the office busy, the crew's busy. I don't know if any.
Yeah, that wasn't me. Just to throw it out there, the brains behind Wholesale Fencing, his name is Adam Butts, and it's great. If and when you need to get your fence materials, we sell them nationwide, all different varieties, and that's the only plug I'll throw in there.
I think it's gonna dumb our generation up a little bit, though. I'm nervous that after a while, nobody's gonna be writing their own emails. They're just gonna be They're gonna be typing in, tell Susan, I think she smells funny.
Yeah. He asked me about it too. He said, "What's Susan's mom's name?" And I said, "Toby." And he was like, "She requested me." And I said, "Accept it. Duh, we love mom."
And we started doing meetings in the morning. And we have designated, I don't know if you guys have how you do your teams.
International BNIs.
BNI.
Yeah, they
BNI in every city. Yeah. Y con eso, hablando de eso, es qué difícil es cuando una persona entra a trabajar a un lugar que nada más hablan en inglés, ¿verdad?
I love the challenge. I love learning new stuff every day. And I feel like if I had to choose to do that on my own, I don't know that I would.
I like that.
I will tell you, my husband and I, we just got into the digital world this last, in 2023. We were still handwriting, all of our lead forms, all of our, fence layouts, everything.
I need my little halo on top of my head.
Does that mean I need to put on my horns?
About what the fence show is all about. And, I stuck around because I got a great group of amazing women.
You're talking about, millions and millions of dollars in a contract is not something that is, I guess, typical in the fence world. Right?
Makes me jealous. Now I want a horse, Brian.
We're live! Hello, everybody. We are live today doing our topic of reading the need with everybody here. My name is Bailey Bierman. I've got two wonderful ladies with me here today. You guys can introduce yourself, Shauna, if you would like first.
Sure. I'm Shauna Harrison. I'm owner of Harrison Fence. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina. Our company has been in business since 2001. I joined in 2005. Was not ever really planning on being in the fence industry, but I was a graphic designer, and I met my neighbor, who is now my husband, and he owned a fence company, and I needed some graphic design, and so the rest is history.
I love that.
Yeah. So we I've done everything from answering the main line back in the day to now I kind of function, I guess, as operations manager, as owner. I can talk to people from selling the fence to installation to follow up.
Sweet. I am Susan K. Worley. This is my first time on the podcast. No, I'm joking. I am the executive director of the Fence Workers Association. So I've been with FWA for full-time 1 year, on the team for 2.5 years, and then with wholesale distribution as a salesperson for 8 years before that. And then before that, in hotels and restaurants, dealing with customer service and that upsell and that feeding the need. Ooh. What about you, Bailey? What up, dog?
Yeah, so we currently have our fencing company we've had since early 2021, late 2020. I do a little bit of everything in our company. I feel like I've said that a little bit a couple times before. But today we're talking about sales. So like specifically about estimates. I tag along, do estimates with Colby. We do them together when we can, when we both have the time to do it and everything like that. And we get that face-to-face interaction with the client and figure out what they want for their yard, what we can help them with. But I also have a background of hospitality of over like 10 years. I think I started working with my aunt and uncle in their catering business when I was like 14. And so that makes it like, I don't know how old I am. 2 years ago, I guess. I just turned 27. Good Lord. But yeah, I started there still and then worked in their restaurant. And I've been working in restaurants ever since. I still part-time work in restaurants, get that face-to-face interaction with guests still. And that helps me a lot with like my face-to-face interaction with clients in the fence world.
Yes.
Knowing how to talk to people and kind of roll it into going from like upselling sandwiches and cups of soup to like composite fence versus privacy fence and everything like that. God, Colby.
I know. I'm not showing Colby's comments tonight because I think they're mean, even though they're just talking to you. So I'm going to pop them up real fast. Okay, of course he's talking about his wife here and still talking about his wife. Way to show up, Colby, and be supportive. Anyways, right? Anyways, so I feel like the biggest hurdle that a lot of people have to overcome in a customer service situation, specifically like estimating or gaining a new client altogether, right, is actually understanding who they are and their personality type. Shauna, what do you think is the most effective way to get to that without like a ton of wasted time, right?
Sure. I mean, I think we ask a lot of questions. So our inside salesperson who answers the main line and sets up all our estimates, she's amazing at qualifying the customers. And so she's, you can tell if they're trying to rush you off the phone or if they're want more, if they really are asking lots of questions. So I think it's important to just keep asking the questions so that you can get to know that customer in the amount of time that you have.
I completely agree. Bailey, what do y'all do at Corridor Residential Fencing?
Yeah, I mean, so when we do like specifically with sales and everything like that, when we are face to face with a client, like walking their yard with them and everything, I just try to get an understanding of what they want right away, right? Like for me, there's like a bunch of different types of people, but like the main 2 types of clients I feel like I get are, I know exactly what I want and I want you guys to do it this way and I want it done this like to a T this way. Either that or they go, I don't know, what do you think? What do you think we should do here? What's your opinion on this? And I'll always give them like my opinion as a professional, but I let them know, but this is your yard, right? Like you have to look at this every day. You have to be happy with this. You have to know it's exactly what you want down to the T. So like I definitely try to get a gauge right away what kind of client I'm dealing with to like help guide them or just kind of let them tell me what to do pretty much. Because I can do both. I can be that voice of reason to tell you, okay, this is probably this way. Or if they just want to let me know what they want, sure, let me know what you want and I'll do it the way you want it,
No, absolutely. I completely agree. So like I took sales kind of from a little bit of a different perspective. I always started off with that kind of qualifying, like Shauna was saying, over the phone. Like I would always call people in advance. And of course, you're not always going to get fence companies during business hours because they're out installing fence and building fence and working, right? But like I would still try to make those phone calls. Like, is it taking me to a voicemail that's for a fence company or a gate company, right? So I can leave them on the list. 2, like if I do get a hold of them, like, and they say, hey, I do want to talk to you, but I can't talk right now. Okay, so they're qualified at that point. Like just keeping really good notes of like the interactions themselves. And then like the, I don't have time to talk to you. No one ever comes out here. Well, I'll be in town next week. Well, they've already got a bad taste in their mouth, right? So they're like at the end of my list. Like if we make it there in the circle of things, like maybe. But like, and then what I would do next was show up in person, right? And just have a conversation with them. Like, I'm not a super salesy person. I feel like my personality is like what I did to sell. Like I sold through relationships. And then just like Bailey said, like I had customers who would be like, I know exactly what I want. Like there's no questioning it. Like if this brand doesn't do it, like we're not doing the job at all. And other people who are like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I'm only going to tell you what I know. That's not, that's this much in a this much world. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
Yeah. So the way we handle it with the, by asking those questions, we know you have so much more information, right? So we're setting our estimators up for success, right? So they know if there's dogs or if they have kids or if there's a pool in the future, those kinds of things. And that, then you're also kind of investing in the customer by asking those questions. They think that you're interested in that. And then we get those notes to our estimator, and then they're kind of ahead of the game when they're walking in. They know what they're up against.
I love that. I love that y'all kind of keep track of all that. Do y'all do that, Bailey?
Kind of, probably on like a much smaller scale, because it's really just like me and Colby, and then we've got one worker that works with us, but we handle like everything personally, like with the clients and everything like that. So we don't have like a third party person we go through. So I feel like it's a little bit more direct from like talking to us to them directly, which is really nice. So we get, but yeah, it's same type of stuff. Like their dogs, like how are you looking for privacy? Are you just looking to like have a barrier? Like all the different types of questions to ask, like right away, just to know what we're dealing with ahead of time,
I love that. So that kind of leads me into like what you had up next on the subject. Like you were talking about meeting that energy, right? Like what does that even mean?
Yeah. So being able to match the energy, match the vibes, the personality that's going on, like kind of like what, like I was saying earlier, like if you want me to be that person to tell you what I think is best, I can tell you that. But it, like I said, at the end of the day, it's the client's yard, like, and we do mainly residential, which is pretty obvious from how I'm talking. But so it's like, people are looking, like the homeowners are looking at like this is a part of their property now, so it's important that they know that I can definitely help them, I can guide them, but I don't want to be the deciding factor in what they have in their yard, so it's like, for me, I think you said a good word earlier. It's about how you mirror people, right? And like that could be a product of my mental illness for sure, but it works as a sales perspective. If I can chameleon myself to like mold to be what my clients need out of me, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I can show up and just install the fence that they say they want, a 6-foot high privacy fence, and that's what they want, that's awesome. But if I can say, okay, cool, here we can do 6-foot high wooden privacy dog ear picket, just like classic style. We could do a chain link privacy link that has the slats in it. We could also do composite or vinyl. Like if people say, I want a wood fence and I want a wooden fence, cool, okay. Right. But then you can also say, hey, here's this catalog of all the different types of privacy in general we can do. Then that kind of helps either guide them, or if they're stuck in their ways, they're stuck in their ways. But all about options for me.
Well, what about that one customer who can't make up their mind? Like, how long do you spend on that customer, Shauna?
Right? I mean, we try to just provide the, what they're looking for. We try to narrow it down and ask if they have HOAs and that kind of thing, because there's guidelines there. They can't, they can't, sometimes they want it, but they can't have it. And then you just try to price out a few options and kind of get a starting point somewhere.
Bailey?
I mean, it's kind of the same. Like we'll have people that will send like multiple estimates to, like we'll send 3 different estimates to them, right? Based off of 3 different styles that they want, just giving them, laying out all the options so that they can pick. But it is rough when they want you to be the one to pick everything. And then I try to dial it down to like, okay, what kind of pricing are we looking at? Like, what's too much out of what we've sent you? What's way too much? We can, knock that out. Do you need it to be flush with the ground? If you do, you're probably not going to want horizontal because your ground might be uneven. What kind of yard are we working with? I try to do like more logical questions at that point. Like, okay, let's get rid of everything that we need to get rid of and then dial down to what is actually possible.
So I've always been a big believer in the good, better, best is the best option with those people, right? Giving them those 3 quotes, right? Like your bottom of the barrel, but still quality, right? Your medium range and your high range. And of course, I, of course, want to make sure everything's on it. Like I want to give you every option in the world, and your good, better, best is still going to have every single option that you need, right? Like from top to bottom. And from there, I'm going to either have you be like, whoa, this is way too much. Like, I want this, but I want it to be like this. So, okay, at that point, at least we have a semi starting point about what you actually want. So like, I do believe that too many options is sometimes not a good idea. But at the same time, like if you can give them the good, better, best options, like it helps them to kind of focus in their mind. Like, okay, I know what I want now, or I have a better idea. So at least we're pulling the conversation in a better direction.
Right.
I agree. We do that as well. We have the good, better, best in most product lines and are able to give them some options. But I agree. Too many options is never, it's too hard to like narrow it down.
Yeah.
Then they start sending you Pinterests of like,
Pinterest is the worst.
Like, can you do this with palettes? I'm like, I'm not gonna oh my Lord. It's
and I'm not going to make your fence look like a palette and leave my name on it. I'm sorry.
Right. Exactly. No.
Man.
And sometimes it's just as easy as like if people want chain link, they're like, okay, well, we do galvanized or we do black, like, the black coated chain link. And they're like, well, which one's better? And I'm like, well, black chain link it's not that much more expensive than galvanized and it looks a lot better. And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, let's do that one. Right. It's almost like stuff as easy as that. And then it's just also the other extreme, which it always can be.
Oh, yeah. So what's this reading the need, sis?
Yeah. So reading the need for me is kind of something that I picked up off of like my food and beverage service. It's kind of what we tell people like at tables, right? Like reading the need is kind of like what we talked about earlier, like catching that energy, catching that vibe. If I'm talking like restaurant talk, it's like if people are sitting at their table and all they want you to do is come up and take their order and then piss off and not come back until they're ready, until they're done, or if they're chatty, if they want to like, if they want to joke around with you, if you can be a little bit more casual, if they want you to be just like prim and proper and everything like that. That's kind of what I think of when I think of reading the need, understanding who you're talking to. And being able to, again, bring up that mirror thing again, being what they want you to be before they even know that's what they want. That's how it is for me. It's like knowing what they want before they want it.
What about you, Shauna? Would you agree?
I do agree. You have to, I guess, no, like it's the same. It's the kind of the same thing we've been talking about. I mean, you have to kind of read what the customer is kind of asking for, and there's so many different personalities out there. You just have to kind of gauge and then provide the quote based on what they're giving you, the feedback they're giving you.
I agree. So like kind of off the cusp real fast, like you read the need, right? But like there's still a problem child. Like at what point do you cut them off and say this isn't a good fit?
Oh,
when do you cut them legs out from under them and say, we're done with you, buddy? Here's my competitor's phone number. Give them a hard time.
I mean, we don't do that very much.
Right.
Probably more than we go a little bit further than we should. They kind of go, some customers, like I'm the ending point. And if I can't make it work with them, then I've only had to fire a few. And we kind of come to understanding. Some are difficult, and I mean, honestly, the customers are getting more difficult, it seems to be. But we still just try to, I mean, our whole process, we've been educating you, we've been listening to you, we've been, doing everything that we can as far as a fence. And if sometimes you can't, I mean,
Sometimes
you
you gotta let
can't make
go.
them happy, but
Right.
more than not, I mean, the majority, you
can.
you can.
Oh yeah. Bailey, how often you be firing them customers? You go up there with your big old muscles and be like,
Right.
get out of here.
Honestly, not. We don't really like fire customers very often. A lot of times it'll be like a fizzle out situation. Like if we will still always try to, like, as much as we can, like, get like constant contact for what they need, send them different bids, adjust things accordingly. But a lot of times, I feel like a lot of times it comes down to like pricing and everything like that. And if we just, that's like something like, if we just can't make it work, we just can't make it work. And that's okay. You can get multiple quotes from different people. You can see as a client who fits best for you, for your yard, for your project, whatever it is. And I hope that people understand that it's like, you don't have to like put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you can shop around. It's okay. Like, as a fence company, it's okay. You can get different bids. You can figure out, it's their investment. It's their property. It's what they need it to be. And that's kind of what I try to let people know, like, at Estimates. It's like, this is your project. I'm just here to make it happen.
Right.
So a lot of that. It gets exhausting when it's like a lot of back and forth, but every once in a while we go further than we should,
Right. I get that. No, I totally get that. So like dealing with business to business is a little bit different, right? So like at SAS, we had, I think 19 locations at the time. I think they're up to like 20 or 22 now or something like that. But I had like this kind of like 3 strikes rule, with the exception of being like just harshly disrespectful, like cursing somebody out or something like that. Like, I wouldn't put up with that for anybody on my team or anybody in general. Like, unacceptable. Like, I'd let them know that they just couldn't call my branch anymore. Or, a couple, and again, this maybe happened like once a year, every year, like with one random person, and no telling what was going on in their personal lives, right? I just happened to be in the path, right? So what I would do right after I hired a customer is I would call the next closest branch manager. Like, hey, I just need to let you know, like, this is what happened, but like, this customer's now up for grabs for you, and maybe you can make them happy. And so like, I would do my best to still keep them in house.
That's smart.
But I wouldn't have them anymore. And sometimes that's just how it works. Sometimes it is just a personality issue, right? Like, sometimes you can't ever speak the same language as somebody else. Like, just is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's very true. And even like we have different estimators. And so thinking about, when we get that initial phone call and then we're asking the qualifying questions, which estimator are you sending to that customer? Are they the more detailed estimator, or, the one that is going to, if they're talking, sports or something, you've got different personalities that you send out there to meet those client needs.
I love that. That's cool. Different people for different needs,
Different strokes for different folks.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness.
It's so interesting to hear about, Susan, your like client sales topics rather than like the just like client, you know what I mean?
It's
like
very
business or it's
Yeah,
so
it's-
different but also the same all at the same time.
It really is, because at the end of the day, we're all people, right? And the one thing I've discovered about people, whether you're in a hotel or restaurant, selling over the phone, selling in person, selling to manufacturers and distributors, to other fence companies or whatever, selling a booth, right? All people want is to be heard, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Like, so if we as other human beings can recognize that the person sitting across from us on the phone or however just want to be heard, that they have emotions and feelings and opinions too, it doesn't mean it's the right opinion. It doesn't mean, because they're sharing it, you have to take it into account or apply it to your life or whatever, but just human decency and respect. And, my parents taught it to me, and I'm teaching it to my kid, and,
Yeah.
That's really all it comes down to at the end of the day.
The basics go a long way.
Mhm.
You know,
They really do.
all walks of life.
Got Michaela over here being all cheerful and talking to everybody, but she did tell Colby to get out of here.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh my goodness. Is there anything else you kind of want to bring up about the value of reading the need?
I mean, I feel like it's just kind of like all we've been saying. It's just like going back to your basics, just hearing people out, hearing what they want, or helping them out with what they think they want, or steering them in a different direction if they want it. It's just reading people, you know? It's just knowing how different people react to different things in time.
Sweet. Shauna, you got anything to add, sis?
No, same thing. No, I mean, you just have to listen. I think that's the main thing. And then educate them.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell them the main
Agreed.
thing.
Agreed. Yes, can't miss that for sure. I don't think I have anything to add. I've got a little bit of housekeeping. You mean knock it out of the way, Bailey?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. It's March. The women of FWA are looking for sponsorship. We have a bunch of different packages available. I'm just trying to make the background look pretty, or actually I'm just having Michaela make the background look pretty now. I sat down with the team and we wrote a lot of different things out, a lot of things to bring value to your branding and to help you support a really great cause. So like if you want to have a conversation, you know how to get a hold of me. Facebook, Instagram, womenofFWA@gmail.com, Susan@finshow.com. My phone number is all over the internet, 225-431-8373. Yes, I know that you prank calling me in the middle of the night, Colby, and I have rejected all of them. But like, yeah, we're open to having a conversation. We can build a package to suit your company, but we're just looking for support, and we will help build your brand in the process. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Yeah. We're a bunch of real cool ladies.
Oh yeah, and growing every day. So most of our proceeds from everything that we have sponsorship packages will go to our retreat for building leaders, scheduled for next year. That's in the works. Like we're meeting every single week nonstop to hammer that out, to create the education package, to bring value to the people around us.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you guys for all your hard work.
Yes,
Well, thank you
for jumping on with us and talking sales and all that.
Yeah, it was great having you on, Shauna.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, you guys. That's all I got. See y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.